Vitória Von Bentzen, da Dust 2 Brasil. Tô aqui com o Aleksib, jogador da Navi. So first, how does it feel to be in the arena?
Feels great. I've been in the Spodek Arena 2 times now, reached the final 2 times, ended up not winning both times, so I'm looking to change it this year and maybe end up going out with a trophy.
And you've been here before, so it's one of the most iconic arenas and tournaments in Counter-Strike. What's the atmosphere, of the fans, of everything?
I think the atmosphere is great. I do feel like Katowice and Cologne for me, in terms of the crowd and the atmosphere, it's very electric and you have a lot of die-hard fans here, so yeah, this is great.
And coming into the tournament, did you guys feel that making it to the playoffs was an obligation?
Yeah, you could say so, yeah. We had a tough road, like we beat Spirit basically. For us, a tough team to beat. We lost against them in Copenhagen like a week ago, so obviously just that game and then beating Mongols 2-0 yesterday makes us very confident going into the playoffs. But at the same time, yeah, I do feel like it was important for us because in Singapore, we didn't reach the playoffs. In Shanghai, we didn't reach the playoffs. Copenhagen, yeah, but we ended up losing and now we're here, so very important.
And as you said, you beat Spirit after not being able to for a little while. What did you guys do different to this time get the win?
See, nothing too much different. Would say we've been just working on our own issues and own map pool and everything, and things just clicked differently. And overall, think if you're giving many chances, at some point you will overcome it. But at the same time, we could face them in the playoffs in semifinals, and it's highly likely going to happen. So, looking forward to the rematch.
And as you said, if you get through to the semifinals, you will play them again. Is it no for you guys? Is it bad? You think it's better to play the same team like two times in such a short time?
No, I mean that's the name of the game. We won them in the group stage. Doesn't mean that we couldn't face them in playoffs. Now we're most likely going to, and yeah, I think it's going to be a very good match. It's going to be in front of the crowd, which is amazing, and nothing else to say about it.
And as an IGL, how do you deal with the pressure having to make like such quick decisions that can influence the whole game and the whole team?
I mean, been doing it for a long while, so kind of gotten used to it. But I do feel like in the studio environment, it's kind of different. Sometimes even more pressured than when you're in front of a crowd. I feel like doing it on stage feels more natural. Maybe you're more focused, or maybe it's just the atmosphere. You kind of like try to get in the crowd and play off of that, and it feels amazing.
And you also won the best IGL of the year. And what do you think is the key to being like such a rounded player and being a good IGL and being able to take your team to victories and winning majors?
I think a lot of it comes down to mentality. How do you take losses? How do you take blame? How you improve yourself? Do you improve the team? How do you improve the mentality of the other players? It's all a big thing that as a leader you should look into more than the others, because it's kind of your responsibility, and at the same time I felt like I could always make a difference to the team atmosphere and to how other teams are feeling and playing. So that's the mentality aspect is very important.
And you talked a little bit about the difference, in the stage and then also in the studio. For you, what's the biggest difference? Playing in the studio, it's still land, the players are around you, but no crowd, the atmosphere. What's the difference?
I mean, I feel like studio is a very quiet atmosphere. You might hear the other team shouting, you might hear your opponent shouting, you hear yourself very well. But I do feel like it's more pressurized because you're trying to like reach the playoffs. You know you belong there, but at the same time, you know it's small margins and anything could happen. And as I said, like having played a lot of stage matches, once you're on the stage, I feel like I'm absorbing the energy of the crowd. And after like facing the crowd in the stage when I'm in front of the computer, like getting into the arena, I feel like it kind of takes the pressure away in a sense. And yeah, it's easier to play for me, I would say.
And if the crowd is, sometimes they're with you, and if they're against you, they're booing you and they're cheering for the other team, does this impact you at all?
No, not at all. I feel like it's I've been booed before, and I do feel like it's. I've been watching a lot of sports, and it's a very frequent thing in football, for example. And I think it's just the name of the game, and that stuff happens, and it puts a smile on my face sometimes because it just feels like you're involved in something bigger. Because in studio games, it will never happen.
And watching the last few tournaments, we've noticed that the level of the top teams are very close. Everyone thought, oh, Spirit was unbeatable, and then you beat them, and then, FaZe lost, and Vitality won. And, we feel that the level is very close. And do you think that this will make the next few tournaments harder, not really knowing who's like the best team, everyone's in the same level?
I do still think that there are teams that are maybe a level above some others, and I felt like last year was super close as well, and it was kind of amazing how we kept reaching the finals and like kept our form for such a long time. But yeah, I do feel like there are still a couple teams that are maybe a level above the others, and um, yeah, overall it's gonna be a very tough competition in 2025, and I'm just looking forward to it.
And also, as you said, you guys were very consistent the last year, and you played a lot against Brazilian teams last year. This year, you already played some games as well. What do you think is missing from these teams from Brazil to be able to be more consistent and play in the same level as the best top world teams?
I mean, it's a good question because honestly, I don't feel like anything's missing necessarily. I do feel like Pain and Furia, for example, they've played some really solid CS. So maybe they just need more matches. But overall, they've been improving a lot. So I think they have it what it takes.